Yeah, I love this oak tree here, which is such a spreader. As Mrs. Rayner says, it's probably lovely to climb, but I'm not going to do that. Now these oak trees here are of an age that they would have been planted on the orders of Admiral Lord Nelson. Well, no, because he was kind of dead by that stage. But after the Battle of Trafalgar and Battle of the Nile, and they'd used up so much timber, they realised they had to plant some new. And this is what they planted back then in sort of 1815, something like that. And they would come along and go, oh, that will go in a hole there, and that will do that. And they got to the timber guys who come along, just look at trees and know exactly where each little branch would go in a ship. I have videoed this several times and never done anything with it. But this is Simmons Yacht Rock, so I'm right out on a promontory here. This is looking out, we've got the River Wye down here, and then this is looking out across to Wales, and there's the Black Mountains over in the distance. And then this is again the River Wye, and it kind of goes all the way around and then back around over there. You get a fantastic view, a couple of ravens up there somewhere. And we get this fantastic view from here. And then this is round the corner. We've got canoeists down here. And we get this great big bend around here. And then across there we have peregrine falcons that nest over in those rocks in the spring.
Nice.
And this is right above where those peregrines are.
Must be a glacial valley.
Wow, look at this. It's like a totem pole. What is this growing on this grass? Here we have wild boar crossing our path. This is just a kind of an opening out view along the walk, which just kind of shows the extent of the forest, I suppose. A very slow toad sitting on our path as well, not a boar this time. I went and helped him across the path in case somebody came and trod on him later. There's Mrs. Rayner skipping through the puddles. This is a different day, and we'd had a lot of rain overnight, and it's just such a change in the forest from one little area to another, as you will see. Now this is a couple of miles from where we live, and it might look like an old Roman fortress or something, but in fact this is the literally the crucible of the steel industry and the Industrial Revolution. The Mushets did thousands of experiments perfecting steel and being able to make it in mass production, and onwards to Carnegie. Shame about the traffic behind me. There's just beautiful colours through here. And this is the old railway line from once you could travel from my little town all the way to London with a couple of stops and changes. And it must have been such a pretty route, travelling down here with steam engine. Here we have a lovely beechwood, which always goes these beautiful colours this time of year. And then on this side we have a lot of spindly oaks, and then there's dark sort of deadly fir thing with green moss. Where you look in the forest at the moment, there are mushrooms and toadstools and fungi sprouting out. I don't know what these ones are, but they're just sort of summoned up fairies, don't they, really? And these are so easy to walk past, and then I kind of stopped and went back and looked, and these beautiful pickety edges to these fungi that are kind of working their way right through this log. And honestly, I'm no expert, but I think this is called the candle snuff fungus, which kind of looks like a snuffed out candle wick, really, so it's very well named. Shh, there's a squirrel. I know it's a grey one, but it's a squirrel. We don't have red ones around here, I'm afraid. I think there's going to be a deer. There's a deer just behind there. Oh, I can just see his head. Yeah, it's just coming through. Larch, beech, sweet chestnut, and oak. And back to beech. Well, this is very much a fungi walk, as Mrs. Rayner says, but look at these little pixie cut things here, which are of course lichen and not fungi. So they cleared this in the spring, and they come along in a couple of weeks ago, and they kind of swept up all the sweepings, or whatever they're called, the loppings. We were thinking, what's that all about? So I looked it up. They're called dead hedges, and so it kind of leaves the area around nice and easy for new trees to grow up, but also it leaves these kind of corridors of stuff for beetles and small mammals and moles, little mice and stuff like that, giving them a bit of safety. So it's all very ecological. Because Mrs. Rayner says how much they've worked at it, it still looks like a First World War. So, especially when you see a bomb crater like this here. But then you have all the light twinkling in the cobwebs over there. If I do that. Oh, the wind was blowing a moment ago. Come on, leaves. Oh, here comes one. Tumble on. Mrs. Rayner's trying to catch them.
Those look like the porcelain ones that that woman had taken.
They do, don't they? Abandoned.